Hello everyone. Today our topic is how to read single line complex JSON file. So either you can say like complex JSON file or nested JSON file. So first we'll see what is this nested JSON file. So there are two things here. One is single line and one more is nested. So first, what is single line means each JSON object will be in single line. So if you hear starting and ending with curly braces. So that is one JSON object. So it is in single line. And if you see second JSON object, this is in single line. So that means how many records? So all the records, that means you can say records are JSON object. Each JSON object, it will be in single line. Next, on top of that, nested JSON. So what is nested JSON means? First, if you see in each JSON object, there will be key value pair. So this is first key value pair, employee ID 101. And the second key value pair is this one, employee name John. And if you come to third key, so address is the key and value. So in place of value, we have one more object. So starting and ending with curly braces. So and inside that we have two key value pairs. So this is one key value pair and this is one key value pair. So this is a top level JSON object, and inside JSON object we have one more object here. So that's why we'll call as nested JSON. So single line nested JSON. And if you see each and every object, so you will see inside one more object you will see. So this is we'll call as single line nested JSON file. And same thing we can see here in our sample JSON file. See each and every JSON object starting and ending at curly braces, and each inside that we have key value pairs. So this is first key value pair, serial number, and this is second key value pair, this is third one, and this is fourth, and this is fifth, and this is sixth, and last timestamp, this is one key value pair, here one key value pair, and address. So in address we have one more object. So from here to up to here. So this is one object for address, and I have one more key, that is domain. So here also I have one more object. So in this example, I shown you inside object, one object, but here we can see two sub objects are there. So it can be one, two, or multiple also. So this key value pair is one more object, and this key value pair is one more object. And the same thing you can observe in all the rows, all the objects you can see. And one more thing, single line JSON means you will be having each object in single line, and you don't find any separator by comma here. See here, there is no separator with comma. So now, how to read this kind of JSON file? So first one is the default method. So in default method, we'll see the syntax and what are the different methods are available to read this single line nested JSON file. So first thing is I am defining one variable like path. So in this path, I am defining this path. So this path is this one. So if you see here, JSON under JSON. So this is JSON, under JSON, read JSON. So this read JSON I need to add here. So JSON, read JSON, and inside that read JSON, single line nested, same schema. So here, single line nested, again single line nested is there, And under this, I need to add this also. Okay, so JSON, read JSON, single line nested, and under that I have read JSON, single line nested, same schema. So if I see here, under single line nested, I have this one, single line nested JSON, uh, same JSON. So I think path is different. Let me check. Read JSON, single line nested, and what is the file name? Single line nested 01. Single line nested 01. So let me check. We have another folder also. Yeah, this one. So read JSON single line nested, same schema. It is coming under JSON only. So read JSON single line nested, same schema. So under this I have 3 files. So whatever path is, that is correct only. So I will remove this one. Okay. So under this folder, I have 3 JSON files. So I given root path I provided here. So under root path, so I selected this first JSON. Okay, so that is my path, my JSON file path. So what is first method is spark.read.json, and we need to give the path. Okay, so this is method 1, and method 2 is, instead of this one, how we can write is spark.read.format, format is JSON, and dot load and path. So this path we need to pass here. That is method 2. So next method 3 is spark.read, format is JSON, and dot option, single line as true, and dot load path. So this is method 3. And method 4 is explicit formatting configuration. So that means explicitly specifying the single line reading. So up to here same, and here we are providing option as multi-line as false. So here thumb rule is like, do not use multi-line equal to true for single line JSON. So I already made one video on how to read single line JSON. So this is single line nested JSON. The basic one is single line JSON. So there uh, I explained all these things in detail, and single line JSON and single line nested JSON. So the syntax will be same. This syntax will change little bit for single line array and multi-line JSON. Okay. So here the thing is, do not use multi-line equal to true for single line JSON. So either it can be single line JSON or single line nested JSON, or single line nested JSON. So for both it is same. So whenever we have data of single line JSON or single line nested JSON, so that time not needed either multi-line equal to true or this one. So dot option multi-line equal to true. So that is the reason in method 1, if you see, so here it is not provided either dot option multi-line equal to true or dot option single line as true. Okay, so this is the default option, option single line equal to true. This is the default option. So whatever here, this is equal to this one. Okay, so only way of writing the code is different. Otherwise, you can simply write spark.read.json path. So this is simple way, and this is second way, but these both are same. And the third one is, here what is the difference is I given option single line equal to true. but this is the default option, whether you provide or not provide. So it will consider as single line only, single line true only. And at the same time, you can give one more way, like suppose if you're not providing this dot option multi-line equal to true, so what will happen? Spark by default considered as dot option multi-line as false. Whether you mention this option or if you don't mention, the Spark by default considered as dot option multi-line as false. Okay, so total we have 4 methods. You can use any of the method. So, but generally people use either method 1 or method 2. Okay, so next, so here I'm trying to read this single line nested JSON file. So here first I define my path. So here training JSON, read JSON, and single line nested JSON. So here JSON, read JSON, and after read JSON, single line nested JSON. So single line nested JSON, and here single line nested JSON object. So single line nested JSON object. So here I have different outputs. So we'll see, different input JSON files. We'll see one by one how to read these different JSON files. So why I mentioned here is object. So that means here I have single object. If you see here, starting and ending with the curly braces, so that means that is object, JSON object. And whatever it showing here, 10 items means inside this JSON object, we have 10 key value pairs. So like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is first level uh, first level key value pair. And since this is a nested JSON, so we have two nested JSON objects. So address is the key and value is this object. And domain is the key and value is this object. Okay, since we have this subject sub objects, so we'll call this as nested JSON. So, and one more thing, if you see the actual file, so JSON, so JSON single line JSON object. So actually, this is the file. This is the file. If you see here, it is in single line. See here, entire object, it is in single line. And at the end, you will see two sub object. For address, this is one object. And for domain, this is one object. So that is the reason we'll call this as single line nested JSON. So mainly single line. But as soon as you upload to Databricks, and if you see, if you open catalog, it will show you like multi-line. So here, each key value pair is showing different lines, line by line. But don't confuse how it opens here. So only the difference you'll find is uh, if it is multi-line JSON, at starting and ending will be array. Square brackets will be there. Since starting and ending, it is curly braces, so that means it is single line. Okay, so that is the identification to remember whenever you open Databricks catalog file. Okay, so now actually looking this one, single line object. So now I given the path. So here I'm using first method, spark.read.json.path. So this path I'm providing. So that means this single line JSON object I'm trying to read here. So I'm displaying here at the same time I'm trying to print the schema. So if I try to read this one, and if you see here, so you will get two this struct type. So for address and for domain. So why we are getting this struct type? Because we have two nested JSONs here. So if you see here for address we have object. So this whole object it coming in one column. So here object it is coming as one column, and this whole object it coming here as one. And if you expand this one, so you can see like key value pair. And at the same time, for domain also, if you expand, you can see like key value pair. But if you see the data type, it is struct type. And whatever we have direct key value pair, so like this one, last update timestamp, country, remaining all key value pairs, these are all single columns. That means single column with single value. Okay. And this how it will read the JSON. And one more thing, if you see here, whatever we have this order, no column order. So this is first column, this is second column, this is third column, this is fourth one, this is fifth one. So it whenever you read JSON file, it won't come as it is same order as it is in input file. So here serial number is there, first name is there, last name is there. But it reading address as the first column, then first name, last name, serial number. So it won't come in order. So mainly if you use infer schema. So infer schema means here we are not explicitly providing the schema. So Spark itself by using infer schema, it detecting the data type. Okay, so those cases, so there is no guarantee that the input JSON file, it will come in same order of columns. And if you see the data type, so address is our key, that is column name, and struct type. So here we saw that this is struct type, and under this struct we have these columns. Okay, these key value pairs we have location, zip code, country, user. So if you see under address, so country, user, location, zip code. Country, user, location, zip code. See here, even here also it not coming in same order. Okay, as per Spark, it coming in random order. So same way for domain also. So domain is struct type. And if you see the inside columns, technology experience level is technology experience level. See here, it not coming in same order. It will come in random order. So this how it will read JSON files in PySpark. So this is about single line JSON. So I shown you here only one object, one line object. So next what I'm doing, I'm changing my input file. So single line nested JSON. So JSON read JSON, uh, JSON read JSON. Okay, JSON read JSON, single line nested JSON. So single line nested JSON. See here, so in first file, we have only this particular single line. That means single object we have. But here what I did, I added total 11 objects I added here. So it will be same way it will be there. Address and the domain it will be as sub objects. So same structure will be there. So here, this one I'm trying to print here. So earlier we have single object. So we got one row. Now I have total 11 objects. So here I'm getting 11 rows here. So here all 11 rows and individual columns, domain as object. That means struct type. Okay. So, and schema will be same. How we got previous case. So same way we get schema also. So next, so now address and domain, column we have object types. Now, how to convert these objects into like these individual columns? How I want to convert. So this is here column is location, zip code, country, user. Total 4 columns are there. So these 4 columns I want to convert into separate columns. So that how I can do is here what and this is my sample data frame. So that is this one. And there I'm doing select. So in select, what I'm doing, so first I'm selecting all the countries, all the columns which are already independent. So independent means this one, first name, last name, serial number, country, description, input timestamp, last timestamp, source. So all individual columns I'm directly writing here. And next, what I'm doing, for retrieving this, suppose this column I want to retrieve now. So what I have to do, since it is a dictionary, that means object. So dictionary, how we can access address dot location. So if you give address dot location, you will get value. At the same time, if you give address dot zip code, you will retrieve this value. Address dot country, you will receive this country name. Address dot user, you will get username. So same code I mentioned here, call of address dot zip code, address dot location, address dot country, address dot user. At the same way for domain column also. So domain dot age, domain dot level, domain dot experience, domain dot technology. So total in domain here from domain column, we are extracting 4 more columns, and for address, we are getting 4 more columns. So total here 8 columns we are extracting here. So that means that object we are converting to individual columns. So that means JSON object we are doing flattening. So if you see here, so all the things it converted now. See these are country, zip code, location, and user level, technology. So all these things it converted. But if you see here, country, it is repeating twice because in location, in address also we have country, and domain domain we don't have, but already in flatten means that means default column also we have already country. Okay, and if you observe previous case and this case, so now we did flatten, right? So initially it is like this struct type, address columns are struct, address and domain are struct type. After after doing this flatten, so if you see the data types, so here all are flattened. So we don't have any JSON object here. Okay, so this how we can read the JSON file, and we can flatten the columns. So next, directory reading. So if you have single line complex JSON files stored in one folder, pass the directory path instead of a file name to load them all into single data frame simultaneously. So directory reading means, suppose if you see here, so JSON read JSON single line nested JSON same schema. Okay, so this is the root folder. So in this folder, what we have? We have 3 files. So earlier what we did for reading the JSON file, I directly given this path so that it read this particular file. But I want to read all 3 files at a time. So how to do that and when we'll use this one? If you see in real time, uh, while moving data from your source to storage account, what will happen in your storage account on daily basis, files will be loads. So if it is today means in this under root folder, there will be one folder creates by today's date, like year, month, date format. One folder will get create. So each and every day, one folder will get create. Suppose today, assume that today is June 5th. So 2026 uh, 6 and 05. So with the year date format, one folder will be created uh, while moving data from source to storage account while running ADF pipeline. So this folder will create, and under this folder, whatever source files comes. So those many source files will um, store under the today's folder. So it may be one, or it may be three, or it may be 10, or it may be 15, and so on. It depends on your source. So how many files it generating. Okay, so now after that, we want to move data from storage account to branch layer. So while moving that, so we cannot read each and every file. So suppose if you give the root path, this one, so how many files, whether it is 10 or 15, all files at a time, you should read and move to branch table. So that means you assume that here 10, in this 10 records are there, here 10 is there, here 10 is there. So in final, after completion of pipeline, for today, total you should append 30 records. Today, these 30 records should append to branch layer. So that we'll see here how to read this one. In this method one is, so this is like manual method. Since I have three JSON files here, so what I'm doing, I'm creating three variables here, path 1, path 2, path 3, and each JSON file path, here I'm copying that and pasting here. So this is path 1 mentioned, path 2 for second JSON file, path 3 for third JSON file. And later what I'm doing, spark.read dot format as JSON, and here I'm giving option multi-line equal to true. And here what I'm giving dot JSON, and inside list I'm passing these three variables, path 1, path 2, path 3. So now what will happen? So the total records from three files, it will add here. And since it is a single line nested JSON, true is not required. So we can make it false, uh, but still that is fine. If you give multi-line true, that is also fine. So generally, either you should eliminate this one. So that means this multi-line equal to false is not required for single line nested JSON, because if you see at starting, we have different methods. In these methods, you see either you can provide this one single line equal to true, or option multi-line equal to false. So both way you can do it, but for single line nested file, so these things not required. If you give, no problem, but not required. You can follow either method 1 or method 2. So even after I removed this path, this is first one, this is second one, and this is over, and this is okay. So here I removed that multi-line equal to true or false. So now how many records I'm getting? 33. So this will be same again, address and domain, it will be same. It will read as JSON object. But if you see this each file, so you will be having, so this is one JSON object up to where? Up to here. Up to here, this is one JSON object. And from here to here, one JSON object. So like this, if you see the serial number, it's starting from 100 to 110. So total we have 10 records. So 11. So 1, 2, 3. So 100 to 110. So total 11 records are there in first JSON. And in second JSON, 111 to 121. So here also 11 records are there. And in third JSON, 122 to 132. So here also 11 records are there. So total 33 records we are getting here. Okay, so next, so this schema will be same like what we discussed earlier. And next one is method 2 is, in method 2, what we can do is we can use either of this method, but in real time, the recommended method is this one by providing start.json. So the first method is simply we are providing the root path. Suppose root path is this one. Up to you copy this and paste here. So if you use this path, what will happen is whatever the files inside here, it will pick all the files and it will give the result. But since here I have only JSON files, so without any issue, it will read all these three files. But assume that if you have mixed type of files, suppose same thing. So again, here I given multi-line equal to true. So this is fine if you remove also. So here what I will do, I will remove this one. And here what I will do, first what I will do here, I will remove this one and I will uncomment this one. If I run, we will get same result. But what is the difference here is, so under root folder, what I'm telling here is star.json. So that means I'm telling to select only JSON files. So not any other format. Okay, so here only JSON is there. It will pick only JSON. Suppose this same thing, what I'll do, I will change the path. So where I have multiple files, multiple means mixed file types. So here what I'll do, I will go back. So there is one folder I have mixed files. So multi-line, single line, mixed files. Okay, so here I have one log file, three text files, three JSON files, two CSV files. So suppose if I give this root path here, so here I will pass this root path. So now what will happen? It will try to read all the files. See here, since it trying to read all the files, so we are getting all corrupted records. Why? Because see it's supposed to read only JSON files, but what it doing? It trying to read this text files also. Suppose if you open this one README file, so the text is like this. So README file, this folder contains JSON event file, and if you see here, so README, this folder contains. See here, this also it reading. So text file also it reading here. So the last one, it is related to that one. So since it is corrupt record, so what will happen as soon as it hits corrupt record, so it will create one column automatically, underscore corrupt underscore record. So under that, it will list down all the corrupted values here. And whatever actual columns are there, for that, it will pass null values. See here, wherever null values are there, so that or this one. And whatever that record is there, it passing under corrupt underscore record. And at the same time, if you see other two text files, so we have product ID, product name, category, price. So two files we have like that. And same thing you can see here. See here, this one. See this entire file, it's showing here, product ID, product name. So this is first text file, this is second text file. And you can see wherever correct columns are there, there it will give you nulls. Okay, so this is here it reading text file also. Now, if you come to these two, here it trying to read CSV file also. So if I open this one, see here serial number, status, start date, end date, expiration date. See here serial number, status, start date, end date. So it trying to read CSV file also. So it moved under corrupt record. And if you see for actual columns, it filling with null values. Okay, it filling with null values. So that is the issue with this method, passing the root path. So next, what we'll see, so this we saw already. So whenever we have mixed type of files, what is the best method to read is, so first I will pass my root path, root folder path. Suppose if I want to read only JSON files, I will give like star.json. So that we saw already. Suppose I want to read only CSV files here. So what I will give here dot CSV. I will give dot CSV and this code will change. So multi-line true is not required for CSV file. So instead of JSON, I will mention CSV. And one more thing I will mention for CSV file dot option header equal to true, dot option header equal to true. So header as true and one is info schema equal to true. Okay, so now here what I'll do, I will mention as CSV, and here also I will mention as CSV, and here also I will mention as CSV. So if I read this one now, it reads only CSV files. Only two CSV files it will read. See, it neatly it is reading two CSV files. Okay, and you can see that scheme also. And at the same time, you can read only TXT files also. So, but here one issue will come for TXT file. Why? Because one TXT file we have only text. So, there will get issue, but still we'll see that one. TXT and this is CSV file. So here I will mention TXT and here TXT and here TXT. So if I try to read this one, first two CSV files, it will read correctly. And for third one, it will give you error. But we'll see two text files. See this one. This is the third one. So for first first TXT file, product ID, product name, category, price. Total 4 columns are there and 9 rows are there in first TXT file. So here also we have 4 columns and first TXT file we have 9 rows. Next we will open second TXT file. So here we have 10 to 18 we have. So here we can see So, okay, this is second txt file, and whatever we have 1 to 9. So that is first txt file. So first two txt files it read correctly. And when it come to this txt, see here, this is, we don't have any columns here. We have only text here, lines we have. So readme file, this is one line, and these dots one line, and 3 lines of text we have. This folder contains JSON files, this file for documentation. See here. So this folder for, and these 3 lines, and this is one dotted line. Okay, so this third text file, it reading like this. So that means how it reading is all the things, these all the things, it keeping in single column. See here, all the things it keeping in single column here. See, it keeping in single column, and for other columns, it filling as null value. Okay, so that's how it will read the data. So like this, you can try for multiple formats. And this is the standard method. And in real time, you need to use like this: start JSON, start CSV, start TXT, like this. That is the recommended method. So this is about directory reading. So next is how to provide explicit schema. So what is the main intention is, one is it will be faster. So if you don't provide this one, Spark by default, it will consider option as infer schema as true. So what will happen? It will try to scan all the data column by column. It will scan. First, it will scan first column. Under that column, how many records are there? It will scan and it will detect the data type. So same thing it will do for all the columns, and it will detect a data type. So that scanning, it will take time, and that considered as one job. Okay. So if you define explicit schema, we can avoid that one job. So it will be one thing, it will be faster, and we'll get accurate data type. So while reading infer schema, there are sometimes possibility that it will detect wrongly data type. So if you provide explicit schema, so we can prevent data type or schema inferential issues. So how we can do is, so this is our top level schema. So that means top level schema means, if you see here, so this, so wherever we have key values, right? Exactly as per standard. So that I defined here. So these all things I defined here, individual things like serial number, first name, last name. Okay, up to this, I defined like first struct type, then struct field. So this struct field, I have this many columns. So in this is column, this is data type, this is whether true or false. And whatever I have object, two objects, address and domain. So for that, I'm mentioning column here, but here instead of directly putting the data type, because this is object, right? Again, so for that object, I created one more variable here, that is add schema address. This is for address object. So in this object, we know that we have 4 columns here. So that is country, user, location, zip code. So that relevant data types are passed. And we have one more domain object, JSON object. So here also we have 4 columns. So that is level, technology, experience, age. So these two things I'm adding here. Why? Because these two are nested JSON. So now this final schema I'm passing here. So single line nested JSON. So here same JSON. So only thing is I'm defining the schema here, and method is same. And if I read this one, so data will read same way, like address, domain, and remaining things. This scheme also will be same. What is the only difference is, as I told initially, if you read the data JSON file with infer schema by using infer schema, so there is no guarantee that you will get in same order. So earlier we saw that first it getting address column, and this domain column it coming at somewhere in the middle, and these columns also not coming in sequence. So after defining explicit schema, whatever the order you provided here, like first one is serial number, first name, last name. So how I have in JSON file, so similar sequence I define the schema. So serial number, first name, last name, source, description. So like this I defined. So in same order you will get schema now. See here, if you see earlier how you got, see here first address, then individual columns, then domain, then this. So it giving some random order. But after defining explicit schema, you are getting in exactly like how you are defining schema. So here first we are getting these things, serial number to country. So this one, serial number to country, then address, domain. So here you provided for address, then domain. So you will get in this order. Okay. So that is the difference between infer schema and explicit schema. And at the same time, if you see this serial number, it detecting as integer. But if you see infer schema, that might be long type, I think. See here, it detecting as long type. So with infer schema true, so these are all the sometimes schema mismatches will be there. So that we can avoid here. And at the same time, not only this address and domain, whatever we have under address, right? So even these four columns, you won't get in sequence, same sequence as JSON while using infer schema equal to true. But whenever you define the schema, explicit schema, so whatever sequence you are defining here, like as per JSON, so this is address. So this is address, country, user, location, zip code. So country, user, location, zip code. Next level, technology, experience. So here, technology, experience, level, age. So same order, we'll get the output. So here, country, user, location, zip code, level, technology, experience, age. So as per schema, same sequence will get the columns. So next one is how to read nulls and empty string. So here I created one separate JSON file for showing nulls and empty strings. So under single line nested JSON null. So JSON uh, single line nested, same schema, and read JSON single line nested, this one JSON null. If you see here, so wherever you have empty string, so this is a double quote means this is empty string. So these things you'll find at some places. So here also and here also. So these are all empty strings. So here description and here first name. So many places we have empty string. So here location, user. So all these things are empty strings. At the same time, you'll be having some places nulls also. See here, experience null is there. and you will find some other places also null. So here input timestamp null is there, serial number null is there, and experience null is there, and here experience null is there. Okay, so this we have combination of some empty strings and null values. So that path I provided here, and if you try to print this one, you see here wherever I mentioned empty string, so we are getting like this empty strings. Okay, and at the same way here also. So if you observe here for country, we are getting empty string. Here for location, we are getting empty string. If you expand this, so location, empty string, country, empty string. And so here also we have empty strings. So location, zip code, user, empty string. And we don't have nulls. Okay, here we have one null. So here for zip code, we have null. And at the same time, individual columns also. So we are getting nulls here. Here one null is there. Here empty strings are there. And here nulls are there. So this how it will read the JSON file if we have empty strings and null values. And since I used infer schema equal to true, so it again it coming its own order. See here, it coming in its own order. So okay, so again, how to flatten this one? So earlier, how we did flatten? So same thing. So first, I'm mentioning all uh, already flattened columns, and from address column we have total 4 columns, and that we are accessing through address.zip code. Okay, like this, and from domain dot level like this, and finally you'll get flatten. Okay, so you will get flatten and scheme also you can see. Now you don't have any struct type. So all are flattened JSON. So next is permissive mode and explicit schema without this column underscore correct underscore record. So that means, see here, the same schema, whatever I defined earlier and explained, same schema I took here, and I'm trying to read this JSON file. So format is JSON. So this schema I'm passing here, and option multi-line equal to true. So actually this is not required. You can remove that. And option mode permissive. So why when will pass this mode is as permissive. Suppose you suspect that if your JSON file has any bad records or corrupted records, if you pass this mode as permissive, even though if it is has corrupted record, it will read the JSON, but what it will do, where for which row we have bad record, so that entire row it will move to one column, that is underscore underscore corrupt record, and for all the remaining all columns it will give you null values. See here, so up to 6, suppose if I go to this particular JSON, read JSON single line, read JSON single line nested, single line nested, single line correct record. Okay, so if I open this one, how you can identify correct record is so you might be avoiding, means you're not following JSON standards, some rules. So maybe at some places, let me check one by one. Up to here, okay, and next up to here, this is fine. 102, it is fine. 103, it is fine. 104, 105, 106, 106, 106. What do we have? Address. then domain. Okay, so if you see here, we don't have comma here. So serial number object it's starting here, and so this curly braces, no, it is not here. So we have one curly braces that is related to domain. So this domain we have object that is this one. So only one curly braces here. Here we are missing one curly braces. That is closing curly braces we are missing. At the same time, this is single line JSON, right? So command not required. One curly brace we are missing here. So now what will happen up to 105? So first five records it will read successfully. When it come to 106, that is sixth record, since it is finding corrupted record, it will stop there. And for sixth row, it will give you all the null values. See here, for all the things, it giving null values. And at the same time, what it doing, it adding one column that is underscore corrupt underscore record, and wherever clean records are there, there you will get null. Wherever corrupt record is there, there it will throw this one. So if you see here 106, see here all the rows it throwing here. So this how it will do the corrupted records. So, and one more thing, I will rerun this one. Why? Because since I'm not mentioned in this schema, you should not create that particular column. Okay, so actually it's supposed to, yeah, correct. So yeah, what is the thing is, since we are defining explicit schema, right? So as per our JSON file, we are created this schema. Okay, so this is applicable only when uh, if our JSON file is uh, clean data. That means without duplicate records. So this is schema is uh, fine for clean data. So, but actually we have corrected record. So since we are not mentioned that column here, what it doing for that corrector record where it started, it filling with all the null values, but that column is not adding. Okay, so underscore correct underscore record, it not added. So now what I'm doing, that column I'm adding here in this schema. So earlier, why it not added? Why? Because in our JSON schema, we don't have that. So the column name is underscore correct underscore record, and data type should be always string type. Why? Because since it will pass all the error messages there, so it should be always string type. So now this schema for correct records. Schema for corrupt records. So this particular column, this particular field we need to add additionally. Okay, so now that schema I'm passing here. So if I rerun this one, so schema correct, so that this one I'm passing here, and I will try to run this one. And if I rerun this one, now that column will get added here. Underscore correct, underscore record, that column will get added here. See here. After adding in schema, this column we are getting. So for first six clean records, we are getting null here. And seventh record, we find that there is corrupt record. So for all these things, it will get null values. And under this particular column, it will show you all this data. And here there is one more difference between single line and multi-line. In case of single line, what will happen? It will give you the entire file. So actually the corrupted record is at 107, but still it throwing all the entire JSON file. But in case of multi-line JSON, what it will happen? At 107, we have corrupt record, right? So it will, here it will add the data only up to 107, not remaining data. Suppose if I see single line list, we'll see single line list. See here in single line list, if I expand this one, uh, if you see here, 10 records, 6, okay, single line list, single line, all are same. It will vary only for multi-line. So multi-line, um, okay, 13. Okay, better I'll open multi-line notebook. Sorry, not multi-line. I supposed to open single line. So in multi-lines, it will throw you all the data. But if you open single line, I, I think single line JSON not shown, I think. Total 10, 6. Okay. Okay, so why it not getting here is what I do. Since I passed multi-line equal to false, right? So that is the reason we are getting all the things. So here what I'll do, here this I passed, right, multi-line equal to true. So what it doing in corrupted record column, it throwing all the values. Now what I'll do, the same syntax, I will remove that multi-line equal to true, or otherwise we'll change multi-line equal to false. So correct record, so if I rerun this one, okay, either you make it to false or remove this one. So now if I rerun this one, see here. So seventh one, we are getting null, right? In case of when we defined multi-line equal to true, as soon as it hit the correct record, it stops here only. It stops here, and under correct record column, it will give you all the data, entire JSON data it will give you. But in case of, if you mention multi-line equal to false, what will happen? It will give you all the data. See here, actual correct record is 7. And after that, we have clean data. In earlier case, what happened? When you mention multi-line equal to true, even though we have clean data from 8 to 11, it not displayed here. See here, it not processed. So whenever you change this one to false, then what will happen? This seventh is the correct record. For that, it will show all null values. And if you open under corrupt record, see it's showing only that particular corrupt record. Okay, only that particular correct record is showing, and whatever next clean data is there, that it printing here. So while working, you make sure these options like multi-line equal to true, false. So depend on this option, your output will change. Okay, so that's all about this video. Maybe what you can try here is you in this JSON file, maybe you can purposely create one more corrupt record, maybe somewhere here 109, so that and if you keep multi-line equal to false, what will happen for 109? It will pass all the null values here, and here that 109 record it will pass here. The entire JSON object it will pass here, same like this one. And next clean record is there, it will process other clean records. Okay, so that's all about this video on how to read single line complex JSON. So if you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.